Rita and Kaylin are, just as you've probably noticed, a pretty fun pair of people. They really complement each other in different ways.
I think the way it works is Rita's got all of she understands about the advocacy stuff, and if people need resources in the community, that's the piece that you seem to give to people.
I do.
And I've got the psychology background piece, so it's like between the two of us, we kind of work in tandem.
I think they really have fun with each other. They've brought a lot of fun here. They've been pioneers here as we've been developing different kinds of things that promote wellness. They were some of the first people that ever came to our exercise classes, and they were always there.
When I was diagnosed with depression, I was really in a dark hole, and I didn't think I'd ever come out of it, but I did, and I've had a lot of losses in my life. Lost my mom and dad and my sister to cirrhosis of the liver, and just coming here has really started bringing me out.
I was very depressed, lying on my bed. My roommate goes, "Do something." And I said, "Me?" And she goes, "Yeah, you. Do something. Go see a therapist, go see a doctor, do something." So I said, "How can I do anything? I'm too depressed." And I realized I had to be the one to get off that bed and make that phone call and go see a therapist. It had to start with me. Having some place to go in the day and realizing I wasn't the only person that felt the way I was feeling, depressed. I met Rita and another person when I first came, and I said, "Do you guys get depressed too?" And they're like, "Well, yeah." And I'm like, "You mean it's not just me?" I knew it wasn't just me in my head, but emotionally I thought, well, I'm the only one, because I'm not really depressed. I'm blind, and I just can't find a job, and I just can't find my niche in the world. I just can't, figure out where I belong.
A few years ago, I got an email from NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and they were looking for people to be trained to lead what was called the NAMI Connections Group. So it's a peer support group, a peer-run support group. And when I got the email, I immediately thought of Rita and Kaylin, that they would be great facilitators, great leaders, and that they would enjoy probably doing it together because they just were such a great team.
If everybody could be mindful of that. Patty, if you like to.
Rita and I are in the group saying, "Yeah, I've been depressed. Yeah, I'm depressed too. I have depression issues or whatever, anxiety, whatever." And so the group, it gives us more real validity. Like the people say, "You really do get it."
My week has been very hectic.
And so we try to have people leave the group. In fact, we always end the group on a upbeat,
positive note. Yeah.
And we use the group wisdom, all of the people in the group, to help each member out. Rita and I basically are just there to facilitate, to keep the group going on track, and we pretty much let the group run itself.
A lot of times people talk about feeling very isolated and very alone and very hopeless, and I think that group brings people a lot of hope.
I've always wanted to do a support group to help other people with mental health, and this NAMI Connection support group, it seemed like my prayers were answered. Looking around, that's a good boy.
There you go, smile.
I came from somebody who didn't want to leave the house, who was scared to go outside, to scared to go anywhere because of getting lost. Spent half my day on my bed, to a person that's out every day now and running this, helping her with this group, and starting another one over in another community program, and looking for more. So I mean, I'm out every day, and to get out every day for me was like, if I got out a couple times a week, I was lucky. So I have come a huge distance.
Well, when Maurice first came to Resource, he was in a position where I think was very stressful. He was trying to take care of his family. He had been in an industry that was no longer working for him, and he really needed a change, so he tried to start his own business, but the economy made that much more challenging than I think he maybe would have anticipated.
I have kids and a family too, so it was tough on all of us. A lot of times it was scary, to a point, how we're going to make it every day. And to go down there and ask for help was very humbling, but I had to do what I had to do to get the family through and everything like that. So it was tough, really tough times. Went to the Workforce Center at MRC, and got into the maintenance program and went through the course and got to where I'm at today, which is working for a real estate management company.
Maurice came here and really committed to that process, even though he knew it was going to be a challenge and that he would really need to rely on his family. But they were supportive of him, and now I think they realize that it was worth the sacrifices he maybe had to make at that point, because now he is in a position that he loves, making a very good livable wage. His supervisor mentioned to me while we were out there that they really found a gem. She said they had hundreds of applicants and knew that they'd find somebody, but finding that one individual that's going to fit in with the organization and work hard and be who they were looking for that role, and in Maurice that they were able to find that. It's really nice to see the whole outcome and get a chance to be out there where he's at.
There's a gentleman at Resource who is in, he runs the maintenance guy over there, and I used to pick his brains all the time about the boilers and things like that and heating and all that, and he paid it forward to me and told me the things I needed to do, and so I just felt that I need to, with my fellow other students, just do the same.
Maurice achieved all of his credentials. He received the certified pool operator's license, the residential energy auditor, and the special class engineer's license. And he knows that there are students that maybe hadn't had that opportunity yet, and really encourage them to go forward with that. And he wants to see his friends do the same thing. And so he's been encouraging them.
The people that work here are great. You know, they stand behind you. You know, and they help you and they push you too. So I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Resource.
Probably around 8 when my mom started drinking. I had a really good home before that, and then when my mom started drinking, life changed. I had just gotten molested by a neighbor, and then that happened to me. I got taken by some men and taken to Chicago and forced into prostitution at 12. And then when I came home after being in Chicago, my mom was still, you know, in denial and everything, and she blamed me for it and that. And there was no, you know, no comfort or anything at that point. So it was like I just got really involved in prostitution. And not until I was probably 20, early 20s, then did I start to abuse drugs. From then on, I was heavily addicted to crack cocaine and then heroin. I felt less than zero at that time. I felt like, I don't know, I just felt disgusted with myself. But I realized also that I could change that I didn't have to live like that. And so I changed my thinking that day that I wasn't going to live like that anymore. I called Resource. I said, I need to get in your program. What do I have to do? I got my daughter back and I can't do this on my own. And I knew that program, they helped you, you know, with housing and everything. And
so she came in and just settled into programming and struggled a bit. And she just looked at me and said, this isn't what I want anymore. I need to, this is it. I'm embarrassed. I am ashamed. I need to not do this anymore.
It's just degrading to women, and I think as Native women that we've lost so much already. You lose your spirituality, and you know, in the Native community, and women are highly, you know, honored. I gave myself time to get, you know, sobriety and that under my belt. And then I got into housing while at RRC. They helped me get in a house, find a house to live in. And my homeless problem became over. And I just blossomed from there. I got into school. I continued volunteering, and I did an internship through my school with Breaking Free. And then I began, the groups that I used to attend, I began facilitating that group. And it was also working on my dream of wanting to help other women and role modeling for other women to get out of that lifestyle, to get out of the prostitution lifestyle. You know, I'm like, wow, she must really feel good about herself.
I think Resource does represent hope in many, many ways, really. There's so many opportunities that clients can come here and have, and not just within the specific program that I work, but they can come here and work on finding a job, work on recovery, work on their mental health, and just, again, establish that support system and knowing that they can always come back. The door's always open.
Resource was right there for me, you know, and the housing was right there, a block over. I was safe. It's all in the individual, because if you're ready to change, you can change no matter where you are.